of it. Johnny, did you fly into Corey's wedding when you went?
No, drove. Yeah. Would've been nice to fly. I don't know where
Did you go up 395?
Yeah,
Can't beat that drive.
yeah, one way. One way I went, when I went up, I came back to 395 when I went up. It had me get off before I even got to Stockton. And it took me a
You can start.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. I know we're missing a couple of people still. This is the regular state planning and project meeting for Fraser Park Public Utility District for Thursday, September 26th. We're starting the meeting at, we're a minute off. Well, I'll say 4 o'clock, because that one says 4:01 and my phone says 3:59. 4 o'clock. Okay, actually, we don't have any teleconference locations, so, we're gonna start with the call to order, pledge to the flag. If everybody can stand, please. Okay, ready to begin. I
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Roll call directors, Director Garcia.
Here.
Director Nyman.
here.
Director Gibson.
Here.
Director Kelling.
Here.
And I'm Director Schoenberg, and I'm here. Okay, that's all the directors present. Discussion, item number 2, discussion vote adjust agenda if necessary. Do we need to adjust anything on the agenda?
I don't think so.
Okay, hearing nothing, I'm gonna move on to item 3, public comments, items not listed on the agenda. We try to limit this to 5 minutes, thank you. Any public comments? Okay, item number 4, standing committee reports. Starting with the accounts payable committee.
We met, we went through invoices and, asked Deborah to cut the checks and everything else will be under financial. And then I made 5 transfers. $1,250 from meter well to, revenue, from claim 26. Meter well to revenue for $400 for board fees. Meter well to, revenue, $26 for staff recovery fee. Those are all claim 26. And then, from, FPLOW planning, to revenue for $466.66 for board fees. And FP to LOW, planning to revenue for $52 for staff. Recovery fees, and those from claim 42.
Thank you. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, state update meeting committee.
We met, but we'll discuss them all under the topics tonight.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on that? Okay, item 5, ad hoc committee reports, the project committee.
We met with, Emily Wainwright and Jeff French, and we went out to the Bearcourt site. And we also went down to the, Well 9 site, and, they seem to be okay with where, Dee wanted to place the tanks and everything, so.
We also met once about the, didn't we, about the, amendment?
And we met about the amendment, which we'll discuss when we get to it.
Okay, any questions for the project committee? Okay, financial committee.
We did not meet.
Okay, on to financial business, item 6. Discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information of Deborah Angel.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, so we prepared one check from the planning account in the amount of $1,410.50 payable to D. Jasper. And one disbursement out of the meter well account in the amount of $2,702.55 payable to D. Jasper. And then we prepared 10 checks out of the revenue operating account for a total of $6,605.83, of which there was one extraordinary disbursement in the amount of $3,689 payable to D. Jasper. And that's all I have.
I
Yes.
have one quick question for Dee. Dee, on, normally you just charge us for the meeting, the general meeting, the first meeting, but I saw that there's meeting prep in the meeting. What was that in regard to?
You're muted.
It doesn't say.
Yeah, I'll have to look. Sometimes it takes me a bit of time to develop, the whatever subject we're talking about. And so I think in that instance, I'm just trying to remember which date it was in which meeting. But it took me some time to do some review and so I charged for it. Normally I don't, but this was a little bit excess.
Yeah, I was just asking to see if it fell under any of the projects.
I'll look, I'll need to, do you have the invoice, Deborah?
Yes,
number
it
and-
is invoice 2400815R.
2400.
24-00815, and I'm not sure what the R stands for. R.
5R. I'll look it up and I'll send you an email.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
That was my only, question.
Okay, I make a motion that we pay our bills.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a seconder. Do you have any discussion before a roll call vote? Okay, hearing none. Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson. Aye. Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 500 to pay our bills with no amendments. Okay, moving on to, and I think we still want you here, Deborah, for a minute. Item 7, discussion vote on engaging with BHK for the 2024 fiscal year audit. I did notice this went up to 22,000 something, 300 from, what it was in the past.
Well, everything else has gone up, so guess their hourly rates went up too.
Do we have any questions on that? Or Deborah, did you see anything weird on there? Or I don't know if you looked at it or not. Or anyone else? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we engage, Barber, Cooper, King, Dill, Hoffman, auditors, for the, year end June 30, 2024, in the amount not to exceed, $22,300.
Do I hear a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, do I have any discussion, or questions about it? Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 500. And we, will be signing their, engagement letter.
Deborah, have you sent anything to them yet?
I have not. I've been preparing documents, what is the word I am looking for? I am preparing schedules that they have requested and transforming them into a digital file for upload to their portal, but I have not sent them anything yet.
Thank you. Are we done with Deborah?
Yes.
I
Thanks,
believe
Deborah.
We are.
Have a good
done.
night, Deborah. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. Have a good evening and a good weekend.
You too.
Thank you. Okay, moving on, can you pass this over to Tiffany? Moving on, we are at, closed session. We're going into closed session, correct, Dee?
Yes, is Alan going to join us? Did anybody contact him?
I haven't heard anything from Alan regarding that. I talked to him earlier today. He didn't mention a closed session though.
Yeah. Okay, yes, let's go to closed session. There's just a couple of things.
Okay, so oral announcement prior to closed session, Government Code 54957.7A. A representative of the legislative body to orally announce the items to be discussed in closed session prior to any closed session meeting. Item 8, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code 54956.9D1, Fraser Park Public Utility District versus CNC Elite Properties LLC et al. Kern County Superior Court, case number BCB-24-100199. Item 9, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Government Code 54956.9D1, CNC Elite Properties LLC and Hacienda Salcedo Inc. versus Fraser Park Public Utility District, Kern County Superior Court, case number BCB 24101-972, and item 10, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with real property negotiators, Government Code 54956.8, in regards to property, parcels 256-070-54, 256-070-55, and 256-520-13. Agency negotiators Lisa Schoenberg, Norman Nyman, and Dee Jasper. Negotiating parties Jeff French and Emily Wainwright. Under negotiation, price and terms of payment. So with that, the time is currently 4:11, and we're going to go into closed session briefly. So if everyone else can hang out in the main room, and we will be back shortly. Okay, so we're back. All right, so we are back. Oral announcement following closed session. Government Code 54957.1A. The time is 4:33. The legislative body of any local agency shall publicly report any action taken in closed session and the vote or abstention on that action of every member present thereon. We did not take any action in the closed session. It was informational only. Okay, moving on to item 11. Discussion vote update on Fraser Park Lake of the Woods Consolidation Planning Project. 11A. Discussion vote review of the project timeline.
We're changing that again, aren't we?
We talked about this in the state update meeting. Someone wanna talk about it?
I
Yeah.
wasn't there.
Well, Ruben was apparently in agreement with it. And we're in agreement with it, so I think that's going to be accepted.
Have you sent them the email yet, Dee?
Okay, what email?
Well, you need to send him the email with all those changes so that he can incorporate it into the amendment that he's working on for your other part of the budget.
Well, you got it that night, and I believe I sent it to Ruben as well. When we discussed that, it was, yeah, let me check it out. If I haven't done it,
I
I'll
just
get,
want to make sure he has it, because I don't want him, because he's supposedly doing a memo to send to his upper management to start working on the amendment for the timeline and also for the budget. And I want to make sure that it doesn't get stalled somewhere.
I
Yeah.
thought you sent it to all of us, but I am going to look.
yeah,
I
see,
didn't get any.
I believe I included Ruben there, but if I didn't, I will do that.
That's problems.
I don't see it. I don't even see the one to us. What was that date that day?
Was the state update meeting day?
It would be the 19th.
19. Yeah.
I see the Amendment 3 funding agreement. I know that we sent the memo. Let me see if that. We sent the memo in regard to the amendment. That was what we were waiting for, that Oscar
Well, that's the other one.
us.
That was
but
well
that's-
5.
yeah,
That was
well-
well 5 or well 7.
Oh yeah, that's
Meter
not even
replacement.
this,
It's a
so,
different project.
I don't see it.
Okay, I've got a note. I will send it out post haste while we're meeting right now.
Yeah, because I could be
Yeah,
wrong. One of the
the only-
big issues, I mean, say this and then go ahead, Carlos, hold on 1 minute. One
Yeah,
of the big issues, Dee, we
Go ahead.
really need to. We really need to not send things on a thread that's already in existence. If there's a new item to be sent, it really needs to be sent as its own separate email. Because what happens is we have these threads and it's really hard for Director Nyman, for me to track those threads sometimes because it doesn't show up as a new item. It shows up in the sent stuff and not it doesn't show up under the new date that you sent something. So if that could happen, that would be really helpful for
Okay.
anything new that's sent out.
Yeah.
And then Carlos?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the last email that Dee sent was on June 12th, and he sent the project timeline for everybody to review, so that was the last one he sent.
Right, and we were supposed to send that again to us and to Ruben that day.
Did you say June 12th, Carmen?
My bad, September 12th.
Okay, okay.
Okay, any other questions on that? So you're sending that, Dee, and making sure that Ruben gets that?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay,
We'll go out.
anything else on that before we move on to 11B, which is the project budget, which kind of goes hand in hand with the project timeline. We needed the timeline all worked out to make sure that our budget stuff was correct as well, because Ruben was going to send those in together, attach the timeline to the budget. Any additional information on the budget?
No.
Carlos?
No, now, once Dee sends that out to him, it'll be in Ruben's hands to approve it.
Well, he's had the budget for a long time. You mean the timeline, Carlos?
Well, the thing, yeah, because
Well,
the
he
thing
was
is that he's
sending
gonna send both of those in at the same time, so.
That's my understanding, is he was gonna forward those to his upper management again, together.
Cause he was planning on doing it this week or this coming week to get his memo done. And he's gotta have the planning timeline to go with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna send that out today. And I'll send the budget out too. He's had that for a long time. Let me see. So I'll take care of that. Honest,
Okay,
promise. Promise.
going on to
I'm
11C.
To see.
Discussion vote on the acquisition and development of well 8 and 9 property. We discussed that in closed session. There's nothing new on that. We're waiting for and that's under D, so I'll just move on to D. 11D, discussion vote on the certificate of compliance, lot line adjustment for the well number 9 property. We're waiting on an appraisal there. So that we can't really move forward with anything until we have the appraisal. That's true also of 11E, discussion vote on the property appraisal, acquisition, development of additional booster and tank site. Other than we did talk about moving the site slightly over to the cul-de-sac. So that was the only new items that I think we can discuss out of the closed session, and so that's still in discussion though. Anything else on any of that?
No, nothing for me, Lisa.
Okay, so moving on to item 11F, discussion vote on project municipal services review, the MSR, and the LAFCO items. Where are we at with that?
Johnny, did you get the copy of that document that Tom had written? I think at the state meeting, or maybe at the last meeting, I mentioned that Tom Dodson was well familiar with working with LAFCOs. And he actually consults for San Bernardino County LAFCO, I guess. And so he's written a draft document to Blair Knox that explains why we are appealing to what's called a common sense exemption, because nothing physically is going to happen as a result of adopting the new sphere of influence, no construction, not a shovel full of dirt gets turned over. And so there's really no project. It's an amendment of a line. And so Tom has prepared a letter that just went out to us and for Alan to review and for Johnny and I to both review. And looks pretty clean. I think there's just a couple of things, Johnny, that I see on there, but basically explains why common sense exemption, which is actually included in the CEQA regulations applies here. We don't know really at this point in time whether Kern County Local Agency Formation Commission is, uses or accepts that common sense exemption for an SOI. And so his letter explains what this is. And after Alan takes a look at it and we have a short conversation, then that will be, we can issue that letter to Blair Knox there at LAFCO. And
Is there a reason that didn't go to the project ad hoc?
I was thinking the same thing.
didn't go what?
At the initial stages, Alan always works with the consultant and with Dee or with me until it's something gets finalized, and then it goes to you guys. And I didn't get this till 4:35 today, or 2:23 today.
Yeah, I got, it's pretty fresh. So what we do is we work it out, then we'll give it, it'll go to you guys before it goes to LAFCO, of course. But that's where we are on that.
Okay, any other questions, discussion on that? Okay, item 11G is tabled, that's the MOU, we're not there yet. That'll happen towards the end of this project. 11, and we did change that on the timeline, and we are doing it, we have it scheduled for the very last month before we don't have funding for the project, so that it's completed the last month before. So that did change. 11H, discussion vote on Lake of the Woods projects and consolidation. This is Lake of the Woods. Over to you, Joan, Pam, and Mary. Not necessarily in that order.
Hey, guys, can you hear me okay?
Hi, Pam.
Yes, Pam.
Okay, perfect. So there's nothing to report on either grants right now. Well, number 4 is fully online. And on September 10th, we did samples and they're showing non-detect for iron and manganese. So we're blessed. So far, so good. The blending station, the month of September are showing at 3.1. So super happy with those numbers. Last
Thank you.
fluoride levels on 9.3 were at well number 2 was 1.6 and the overall was 0.95 at the blending. So we're doing great on both those numbers. Wells have pretty much stayed the same as far as recharge, except for well number 4 and 6. They're dropping about 8.2 and 6 feet respectively. And the wells are still up 35 to 57 feet since last year, and since January still up 23 to 28 feet. So we're still doing fine, and now we're hopefully coming into the wet season.
Yes.
So that's
good.
it. Do you guys have any questions?
Nope.
Have a great evening, guys.
Thank you so much. Okay, on to item 11I, discussion vote on claim 46 and other claims and payouts. This is Carlos. You're muted, Carlos.
Okay. So for board of directors fees, we had a total cost of $566.66. We had an invoice from Young Woolridge and Associates, invoice 115115, and total for that was $520. We had an invoice from D Jasper and Associates for engineering admin consolidation work, invoice number 24-00812R, and that one totaled $4,188.10. And we didn't have any staff recovery costs for this claim. We had another invoice from D Jasper and Associates for design work, invoice 24-00811R. That invoice totaled $29,734.56. So the total claim was $35,009.32. However, Tiffany just sent me today that she had gotten an invoice from Tom Dodson and Associates, but I believe that one has to come in through D as well.
No, the contracts directly with the district on that one, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it is? Okay, well, if it is, then I can put it as it. Did you guys get a contract with Tom Dodson and Associates
No,
For what?
for environmental work for the project?
no, it's you, D. Is it not? It's been through you in the past.
Yeah, so we gotta figure out that if we gotta figure this out then, cause the invoice is addressed to Johnny in Fraser Park, but I thought it was going through D, so
I don't recall us signing a contract with them, am I wrong?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I don't know. We don't have a contract with them either. And, you know, I prefer it go directly through the district. Because, you know, we can't pay them if we're not paid. And you guys can't either, but I mean, it just adds to the complexity on our end. We get calls, how come we're not getting paid? Well, we're not getting paid because the state hasn't paid and all that. And I prefer the environmental for Tom, just go directly to the district.
And the invoice is from June.
I have a question. In the past, haven't the Tom Dodsons gone through D? We've paid them ahead of time because we didn't know what to do because we were waiting for money. But I believe we've paid D for those, not paid, well, we paid them directly, but it was still supposed to be a contract with D. We don't have a contract with them, to my
Yeah, 'cause,
knowledge, and
the contracted amount according to this invoice is for 28,000. And the total of this invoice is $7,737.76. So I guess we're gonna have to figure out whether you guys gonna sign a contract with them before. So we gotta get a contract signed with them by somebody.
So the amount for this environmental work is $28,000, is that what you're saying?
That's what it says on the invoice, that the contracted amount is for 28,000.
and don't we have like 90,000 in environmental, 90 something?
We had 100,000, but D has billed some to it, and so we have a little bit less than 100,000.
We have 97,613.
But I think that's a big issue because we don't have a contract with them and the bill is from June. So is there a reason why they weren't contracted? In the past, the contract was with UD and then we have paid them directly in order to have them not wait before, but I don't believe we've ever contracted with them separately.
Would you know if we have a contract?
No, we don't.
I can look in my contracts
I
file.
know.
I'm sure we don't.
Let's let D answer the question. You know, D?
I don't have a contract with him at this point in time, and if the bill went in June to the district, did it indeed go to the district in June?
Not in June, we only got an email saying, why hasn't it been paid? And we just got the email. But I never saw an original email with an invoice in June. We just got it now.
The invoice says June on it.
Yeah, I mean, nobody here got it in June.
Yeah, it didn't come to, well, it wasn't, the invoice wasn't to me, it was to the district. And so I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, we can work this out. The issue there with Tom is he's pretty small and you know, he needs to get paid in a reasonable amount of time. And he had mentioned to me a couple of days ago that, you know, he was wondering if he was gonna get, you know, how soon is the district gonna pay on that one? And so that's kind of where that is. We can, you know, I hate to get in the middle of some of these things. It gets pretty complex, but especially when you got somebody that really needs to get paid and we don't have the money to pay them either. So, you know, but we can do it. We can put together a contract with Tom and do it that way. But really, I think the other thing is, if the district can then back that invoice up, that would really be good.
We've done that in the past, Dee, where we pay him, but the contract was still with you. So in the past, we have paid through you ahead of time and then waited for the state to reimburse us and then put the money back in our.
So my suggestion, D, is maybe you do the contract with him and have him, do another invoice to you, and then you submit it to us and we'll get it paid by the next, we'll, you know, we're gonna have to put it in our thing, but I guess we'll have to pay it ahead of time. We can pay it the next board meeting.
But yeah, we never got an invoice, so I don't know, and we need Tiffany to track that. Because it's really important that we track it so that we know to pay ourselves back when we get the state money.
Yeah,
And we have no contract with them, which is not a good thing.
you know, the invoice.
I don't believe we have a contract with them.
Invoices marked June. In June. So,
And that invoice is straight to us?
yeah, it's to the district.
But you got it,
Well, he CC'd me.
because we didn't get it.
Well,
He CC'd you?
he CC'd me because he said he was asking if I could mention it or help get him paid. It's a $7,700 invoice, I think, something like that. And
Did he actually mail it or something to us? Because we've never seen it.
He doesn't know any of that.
Yeah.
Or he said, Jesus, just got the phone call.
You got the email just like we did today. So we gotta talk to Tom and ask him back in June, or July, what did he do and how did he supposedly get somebody an invoice?
Well, really, that doesn't even matter. Ultimately, at this point, we need to find out who's gonna do the agreement with him. Can you call Tom tomorrow? And find out who has the contract with him and try to figure out what we need to do to rectify this?
yeah,
Hasn't Tom done some other work on this before this? I thought he had. I thought he had done other work on this project.
he's done, you know, he did the pipeline replacement project.
No, not the pipeline project, this project. Hasn't he done
He,
the other environmental? I thought he did.
he also the biological survey would be done through Tom with the surveyor as a subcontractor to Tom.
Your contract file,
Yeah, Lisa, he hasn't done any work for the consolidation project.
go look and see if you have anything from Tom Dodson. Or what we have from him, because I know we had a contract over something before that we signed.
Yeah, we've.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought,
okay.
well, we signed something for well 7, we signed stuff for other. But I thought that was your deed too.
Well, really, we can just move on from this now since we're guessing and he can find out tomorrow.
Well, she's gonna look.
And Tom could say, yeah, well, I got a contract with the district, or no, I don't.
She's gonna look in her contract file, Johnny.
Did you look at the look on her face? Like, well, I'm sure I ain't got it, but we might.
Hey, Carlos, while we're talking about contracts, did you ever get a response from Ruben about how we're gonna deal with PMP's annexation conversation? On how PMP will get invoiced?
No, not yet.
Okay.
That wasn't for us. I'm like, what?
Well, it is. It's how, because they become a part of this too, and how they're,
BMC?
no. The
PNG.
engineers for Lake of the Woods.
Oh,
Sorry, it's
also-
Provost and Pritchard is PNP, and they're our engineers.
okay.
And so
But
we
they
had,
they become. Go ahead, Pam.
no, we just had to have a meeting to see where the interconnect is gonna happen with Fraser Park's designs with Lake of the Woods. Sorry.
No record, nothing. So.
No, we do not have a contract with. On file.
So Dee will find out and then we will,
The,
the next meeting. If you don't mind, Dee, could you do that for us?
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, sir.
Can we move on now?
Well, don't we have to,
So the total,
we're still on Carlos.
right, so the total of this,
Yeah, so the total
Thing-
for this claim is $35,009.32. And that's excluding that invoice from Todd Dodson and Associates, because we can't put it in there until the contract's done, so.
okay. I make a motion that we approve claim number 46 in the amount of $35,009.32, with the invoices and what Carlos had stated.
I just have one question before well, go ahead and somebody second that. and then I
I'll
have one
second that.
question. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Tiffany, we had no staff recovery costs? Okay. That was my only question. Okay, so there's a motion and a second. Are there any other questions? Okay, I'll entertain I'll do a roll call vote. Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson. Director Kelly.
aye,
Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 500. And so claim 46 has passed 500. Okay, moving on. Okay, we're now at item 12, discussion vote update on the FPPD meter replacement project, emergency well supply project. 12A is the funding agreement amendment 3. So we just have, we had discussed this at the state update meeting. We did get a agreement from Ruben that we were covered under the under the contingency totals in this contract, that there should not be a problem with that. So I just need a motion for, because I don't think we did a final motion for me to be able to sign the amendment. So I
Okay,
would entertain that.
Well, nobody has, in this group has seen, the memo.
nope,
Uh,
I'm sorry, I don't know, we have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so the project committee met with Ruben to go over
Last week,
to go over the amendment that we need to get signed within 30 days. Okay, remember we discussed it in the last meeting. And if you go to the budget page, okay, they had Unified Field Services Corp. They were only paying us $430. $430,000, and we'd already put out 600 and some odd thousand. But they have the change order contingency of 643,000. So basically, we got clarification in the meeting from him. So I'll just read this really quickly.
So just quickly, so Oscar wrote a memo. I read it, it went out to Ruben in both of our names. And that memo basically said that we were okay with it as long as we all have the understanding that the contingency will
Okay, if
pay
I just
for
read the
any
memos.
line item.
Yeah, I mean, we don't, I mean, it's just,
So go ahead and read it.
the board has a time-sensitive decision to make about approving Amendment 3 to your SWRCB funding agreement. Below is a summary of progress payments made to Unified Field Service Corporations and remaining work to be completed. The action needed from the board to approve or deny amendment number 3 to funding agreement, blah, 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 during board meeting on September 26, 2024, we have identified and discussed errors in the budget with the DFA. If you proceed with the Amendment 3 presented, you will need to utilize the contingency budget. Because the Phase 1 approved construction budget under Amendment number 3 was $530,162 is not sufficient. This Phase 1 progress payments have been paid to Unified Field Services Corporation and are summarized below. So then it summarizes all 3 progress payments, which totals with the retention, $646,338. So it's showing that we're over. That there wasn't enough in the Phase 1 money. Okay, the remaining work to be completed includes the following amendment of well number 7 with cement and capping in accordance with the County of Kern well destruction guidelines, restore the site fencing that was removed, and final work site cleanup. Upon approval and completion of remaining work, Fraser Park Public Utility District will be required to make final payments in the amount of $171,715 to Unified Field Service as follows. This is progress payments 1, 2, and 3, retention $34,017.81, remaining work cost $51,985, and project management administration cost, which is $85,712.25, which totals $171,715.06. This total project cost is $818,053.39. Also, please note that these numbers do not include the $27,337.75 in purchased materials that were deemed ineligible by the state and will be the responsibility of Fraser Park Public Utility District to pay.
I just had a Director Kelly, if any other directors want to see it, that's a memo from Curtis, basically breaking everything down. And we also went over all the numbers and were in agreement with Curtis. So
basically Ruben said there was no problem with us using the contingency. There was enough contingency money in there to pay the 171 plus whatever's left on the meter well project. So he said there was, if we sign it, we would be able to take that money and submit the claims.
even though there's a mistake in the way that they added the progress payments. So they underestimated how much we had already paid and already received back from the state.
Right.
But they're fine with us getting that additional money from the contingency.
So I will make a motion that we approve amendment number 3, agreement number SWRCB 000000000 D20020051, project number 1510007-002C. With the understanding that we're able to utilize the contingency, the change order contingency cost.
And I'm
in the
able to sign
agreement.
that amendment this evening.
And we'll sign the amendment electronically this evening.
Which is still within the due date, because it's due Monday. Or actually tomorrow, I believe.
So is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion second. Any other questions on that? Okay, roll call of directors. Director Garcia,
Abstain.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Director Gibson,
Aye.
Director Kelling,
Aye.
and Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that's motion passes 4-0. one abstention.
Is there a reason why you're abstaining, Director Garcia?
Yeah, personal.
Okay.
Okay, item 12B, so that motion passed. I'll be signing that this evening before I leave electronically, so they get it in time, because we had a 30-day window. Discussion vote update on well number 7. So basically, that's kind of part of what we've been talking about. That's the capping and abandonment capping and fence going back up, and that's part of that agreement.
So I guess, Dee, once we sign this agreement tonight, you're okay to proceed forward with, having Unified make the date for Unified to come out and cap that well.
Okay, I will pass that along to Curtis and we'll get with Unified and get things moving.
Right, and so then the other thing that will have to be coordinated when they're ready is all this materials that's amounts to $27,000. You know, they'll have to invoice us for it, but they'll have to deliver it to Johnny and he'll have to verify that we received it all. That's one other part of the.
Yeah, I'll have the guys start cleaning up the shop. So we have one centralized location where we put everything down in lower shop.
And hopefully we'll organize it so we know what's there, so we can use it and not have it sit there as we need it.
Okay, so I don't think there's any vote or anything on that. That just needs to move forward once we sign this. So 12C, discussion vote update on meter replacement. I know we're still waiting for Bruff to do the final meters. You want to give an update on that, Johnny?
Yeah, we're still waiting for the meters to come in. They're still, like, originally, it's taking forever to get any kind of meters. But that's good. We, already found out that it costs $37.50 for a new antenna because the customer accidentally, wrecked 2 of them and he agreed to pay for them, so. But the meter project is still working well. He was grading with the Bobcat and hit the top of the lid and busted 2.
$37.50.
Yeah, for the meter. and the cords.
Antennas.
And, you know, if somebody does it intentionally, then we'll, of course, do the vandalism charge, but since it was not intentional and he agreed to pay for it, it's just the cost.
Right.
That's fine. And did we ever get in, I know that's not part of specifically the, it's part of the project, it's not part of the project, but it's part of what we're doing. Did we ever get in the other meters that we ordered?
No, ours were actually ordered after Bruff ordered
Okay.
theirs. And
That's all the business meters. Okay. Any other questions on that before I go on to 12D?
no, just so you know, I did not order the 1.5 inch and the 2 inch meters
Yeah.
yet. I was spacing it out over time,
Right.
so.
Yeah.
But there were very few of those.
9 2 inch and 1.5 inch. So I only ordered the 29 3/4 ones and 12 1 inch.
Because we knew those would be, the other ones would be more expensive, so we're gonna.
Well, I just knew that we needed to space out cost and expenditures over
Right.
time, so.
Right. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on, thank you, Johnny. Moving on to 12D, discussion. This is Oscar, discussion vote on claim 31 and other claims and payouts.
So for claim 31, we have one invoice from D. That's invoice 24-00816. And that's in the amount of $3,265. And we'll be able to submit these claims once we get the new updated forms. So at this point, we have three pending claims that we need to submit to the state.
Okay,
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve, claim 31, in the amount of $3,265,
Pending submittal.
pending submittal.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Any other questions on that before I do a roll call vote? Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg's an aye. That motion passes 500. So once we are able to submit claim 31, it has been approved. Okay, on to 12E, discussion about update on bridge loan requests and payments. I don't believe we've received the payments yet. We're still waiting for those, three, I think, claims to come in.
So it was 26 and 27. They did come in,
Oh, they did come.
but 27, Oscar's looking into it, it came in a little bit under what we requested. So the check was about $221 short.
Wasn't it,
So
28?
Oscar's gonna find out.
wasn't it 28?
What's that?
28 that you said was short $221.45.
Was it 20? Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought it was 27, one of those.
Aren't there three? There's only two?
Yeah. So did you receive 3 claims or 2, Tiffany?
We received now a total of 3. One, we're cutting a check for today. And then 2 that we just got, so they weren't ready for this
So
meeting.
27 and 28.
Yeah, 27 and 28. And
Okay.
then, so it was, 28 was short and Oscar's looking into why, but everything should be set by next meeting to, pay back South South Bridgeland.
So once we, get all that straightened out, we'll be paying back the bridge loan and then we'll be requesting another loan.
So I reached out to Eric Manzano. I haven't received word from him. I will probably reach out to him again on Monday, or I will reach out to Ruben, see if he can figure out why, because at first I double checked my math to make sure that it wasn't an error on my behalf, and it wasn't. So I don't understand why that claim was short $221.45. It was probably maybe a mistake on their end, or maybe there's something that they deemed ineligible on one of those invoices. So once I hear word from that, I'll reach out to Tiffany.
Great, thank you, Oscar. Any other questions in regards to that? Okay, moving on to item 13, discussion vote update on pipeline replacement project. 13A, discussion vote on engineering and design. I don't believe we've gotten any further on that.
Thank you, Oscar. You can.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Oscar.
You guys have a good evening and a great weekend.
Thank you, you too. So, Carlos, nothing, or D, nothing else on the engineering design or the project application, correct? We're just in a holding pattern, waiting for them to say something,
That's
waiting for
correct.
the state.
Yeah, that's correct, Lisa.
Okay, so 13A and B, we're just waiting on. Any other questions, discussion on that? Okay, item 14, so I guess that's it for, well, no, we have one more question for Carlos, which is the discussion vote on the standby fee assessment, although that's primarily Tiffany. Tiffany or Carlos, do you have any other, items for us in regards to the standby fee?
I have an update unless Carlos, do you have anything?
I don't have anything.
Okay. So NBS finished their list of parcels that will be assessed. He sent us an Excel file with he called it rate modeling. What's interesting is, he said, the standby assessment is charged based on the benefit to the district and not tied to any district costs. So although he sets up the model, the ultimate decision on the standby fee is going to be in the district's hands. Provided, 1, that we can show benefit to the district, and 2, that it's an amount that we believe will pass the Prop 218. So for example, we say, well, we could use $100,000 a parcel, right? Why not? The district needs the money. Well, that's not going to pass. But so we're going to determine the amount we want to charge per parcel based on benefit to the district and based on what we believe will pass the Prop 218. I have a meeting with him
think this week. Because I want him to kind of go over and explain a little more, because this was through email. And then I think I'm gonna invite him to the meeting, first meeting in October. Because pretty much it's almost completed, but he's gonna have to address the board and have you guys decide what it is we're gonna propose for the standby fee.
And do they come out and when we do the public meetings,
I
work
think
with
he's
us?
gonna do the public meeting.
Okay,
And the spreadsheet Tiffany mentioned is cool because you can punch in different numbers and then it shows you what effect that's gonna have. So you can play with the different numbers and he gives one example, $100 per lot, and it shows you what that would look like at every year, so. It's helped out a lot so far, so I think you guys will be happy with the way it's going.
So who gets to come in and play with that?
Well,
Well,
I'm hoping he can come to the meeting and do it with the full board.
yeah, and show everybody what's up.
And kind of explain, better than I could, because he knows how it all works, answer your questions, and then the board will ultimately decide what they want to propose to the community for the standby.
And do we have any idea what other communities charge for standby fees?
That would be a question probably to ask Greg, who I'm talking about, yeah.
I think it runs the gamut, but I think we would want communities that are like ours. To kind of try to compare. I know it's way beyond the $5 that we charge, but
I don't know what Lebec or some of these
Well,
other.
and again, see, then that's why we gotta just listen to the expert that's gonna suggest it, because you can't compare apples to oranges even between two neighboring water systems that are the same size, because it's everything's different, but I think initially everybody was throwing out like, well, we should charge at least $100 a month. Well, that's one of the examples that he gives. $100 isn't crippling for anybody that owns properties all over town that are just sitting there, but that's what you guys will be able to discuss with him.
it's not per month, it's per year.
I mean, per year, that's what I meant to say, per year. $100 a year is negligible.
$8 a month.
Yeah, $8 a month,
Yeah,
so.
it's not that, and it's about 1248 lots, 1,248 lots. That will be assessed. That number will go up and down depending on lockoffs and things like that, which I'm hoping he'll explain if we're gonna still stick to that. But, yeah, that's what he's looking at right now.
Okay, any other questions, discussion on that? All right, then, that's, I think that's it for you, Carlos. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Wait, we have a
But-
question?
I do have one more.
Right.
I do have one more comment before I leave, and
Okay,
but if Terry has a question about this standby fee, go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, can we raise that annually or no? This'll be it and it'll be that way until we do another.
I believe it's a one time, but again, like, that's why I'm really hoping he'll be able to attend a meeting. So that you guys can ask him things like that. And is it something we build into, let's say, over the next 5 years, or is it a one assessment until we pay another 40,000 for a new assessment? He'll have to answer that.
What do you got, Carlos?
Thank you, Carlos.
Okay, I do have a comment. I don't think you guys put it on the agenda, but it has to do with the rate study.
Oh, yeah.
So we did find a way to do the rate study in a quicker way than we would have if we had to update the work plan. So I did send Tiffany the TA request that's gonna come from you guys to DFA requesting self-help conduct a rate study and a Prop 218 process. And by doing it this way, it should get approved within like 3 weeks to a month. The only downfall to doing it this way is that you guys would have to pay for any mailings that would happen, but I think that's not much of a cost for getting it approved so much quicker.
Can we add that to the agenda for next time?
Thank you, sir.
And I believe we've always had to pay for the costs of sending out
Really?
mailings. Okay, thank you very much, Carlos.
All right.
Good night, have a great weekend.
You guys do the same. Good night.
Okay, item 15, discussion about update on Cal OES Community Power Resiliency Allocation of Special Districts Grant Notice of Completion and Final Payment. Where are
I'm
we
happy to
at?
say that we can remove that line item now. We're complete. I went back and forth a bunch of times. You know, that they're trying to bill us an extra $500 and it wound up being $2,000. And I just dug in my heels and told them we had concerns and that we weren't paying nothing until we got a meeting with Curtis. And I wanted to talk to, Greg at PTS. So today or yesterday, I got a text message from Greg stating that it was a newer employee's mistake and we're clear. And then I got an email as well from, somebody else there at PTS stating that we're free and cleared. We owe nothing more.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks
so
for handling that.
so basically the final payment already happened because now there's no.
Already happened, yeah. It happened basically when we paid that, load bank
Right.
invoice.
Okay, so that can be removed from the agenda.
Yeah.
That project's done.
Just make sure you keep that email.
I don't erase any emails.
Well, yeah, but I'm
Ever in
just,
life.
yeah.
But that should probably go in our file too.
Yeah.
Send her a copy.
Well, I mean, it's just, that they're gonna come back in a year and say, oh, you know,
I can always find emails.
Yeah, it just needs to go on Tiffany's stuff for that project. Okay, so we don't want to take a recess, correct?
no.
Okay, new business, item 16, review and approve meeting minutes for 9/19/2024, the state update meeting.
I can't read it, it's too far away. Look where you have it.
Oh, they moved it. I didn't move it. Terry, Terry's got.
Okay. I move that, we approve the, state update standing committee minutes, for Thursday, September 19th, 2024. With any amendments that, were sent to Tiffany previous to and after the meeting, as well as any additional amendments for typos or other errors that may not have been caught or that may need to be corrected.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, roll call directors, Director Garcia.
Hi.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Kelling.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye. That motion passes 5-0-0. So, those meeting minutes for 9/19/2024 state update meeting are passed. Item 17, is there any discussion vote on future agenda items?
I'll have two next meeting. One will be to approve the rate increase letter for the January 1st increase, since that has to be sent before, or by the end of October. And then we'll also discuss any change in meeting dates for November and December.
Okay, anything else any directors want to bring up? Okay, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion, any issues with that? Roll call directors, Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Gibson.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg is an aye, so that motion passes 5-0-0. We are adjourned at 5:26 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen.